What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the Riz, Ragga, Romance. Coming through again with another red-pilled video for y'all. Action, satisfaction, and a little bit of a way to survive through this crazy gynocentric world. So, actually today is a review of a TV show. I want to say a movie review. It's an HBO series, actually. And I don't have the front of this is like, there's nothing, all it is blank, but the back is, it's Boardwalk Empire, right? DVDs. So I watched the first season. Now this came out between 2010 and 2014. I have not had cable or access to HBO since I left my baby's mom in 2000, like early 2010, late 2009 was when that fritzed out. And so I never saw this series, and I wanted to the whole time because I still like Steve Buscemi, and I like HBO series, and I like mob movies, and that's what this is all about. The reason that I'm doing this review, it's not that the Boardwalk Empire is that great of a series. I mean, it's no Sopranos, it's no Game of Thrones. There's a lot of things that I have issues with, stylistically about this series, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But the main reason that I want all of you to hear this, and definitely if you can, at least watch the first episode of Boardwalk Empire, because the number one thing, and why I want to, I made the first 30 seconds of me watching this, I'm like, I gotta make a video about this so everyone knows. All right, now the opening scene, Buscemi is the main character, okay, and it's about Atlantic City Boardwalk, right, like it opens right at the moment like the first episode 1 of season 1, and there's 5 seasons. I'm gonna go get season 2 right now, but like it's something like it happens like right at the end of 1919 is when like Prohibition and women's right to vote they both happened at once, and that's the key right here. I mean, the name of this video should probably be something like Prohibition equals feminism. Those two are congruent. They can't exist. One can't exist without the other somehow. I know they don't seem connected. Women's right to vote and taking away drugs and alcohol and shit. But they are. And in many ways, that's a form of censorship so that we can have feminism. So this show, and the reason like Prohibition happened, like a lot of people don't realize, women didn't in 1919 in first wave feminism. It wasn't because there were just so many women marching and pissed off and raging and overthrowing people in the Capitol that we were scared of women and we had to change everything. It didn't happen that way. What happened was that for years before that, women started what was called the temperance movement, which was women who, like old ladies and like battered wives and shit like that, and like divorcees, even though there wasn't much divorce back then, like women were starting to like wanting to get free. Okay, in 1920, like right as that happened, like women started wearing pants, women started smoking cigarettes and cigars in public, women started fucking the whole flapper thing. Flapper is just another word for a girl who was fucking whoever she wants and riding a cock carousel in 1920s. That's all it is. It's just a feminist from 100 years ago, a flapper. But anyway, like the women got their right to vote because it was promised to that, like a whole bunch of politicians in the Midwest wanted to rise, like take over the government and rise to prominence and like stick together and bully everyone out of the way. And they figured if we can get women to vote, we can get them to they'll say whatever, they'll do whatever we want and keep voting for us. And what women wanted at that point was to get rid of alcohol and make it illegal. Because back then, like, it probably was out of hand. Like, that alcohol was America's #1 drug up until the 60s. Okay, it's all, like, America really was about, was fucking, it wasn't coke and heroin, it was gin and scotch that America was hooked on. So when they took that away, it didn't go nowhere. It just, Prohibition started, and then you had gangsters and people shooting each other and making gin mills in their basement and bathtubs and shit, drinking poison to get drunk, making liquor out of fucking toenail polish and fuck knows what else. But that happened, like seriously, like one happened. The 19th Amendment is for women to vote, I think, and then was the 18th Amendment prohibition, and then the 21st Amendment was repealing. One of the amendments, the amendment to prohibit alcohol and the amendment for women to vote came together, and that's how it happened, and that's how women got the right to vote. And ever since then, women have been like their right to vote has been sending men to war to get killed, and taking away men's rights piecemeal, and destroying the family and destroying the fatherhood. So in Boardwalk Empire, the opening scene is perfect because it's all these suffragette women, these women from 1920s who were like feminists in a meeting, and Buscemi's at the front of it, and he's like, "We will get rid of alcohol. We will make this city, Atlantic City, a beautiful paradise for good church-going people, and we will protect all you women and give you the right to vote." And then they're all like, "Yay!" And they're like, "We'll vote for you!" And like they're all like behind him, and he's like laughing his ass off. He goes, "Listen, ladies, I can't stay for your luncheon. I have to go. But you guys remember to vote for me come voting day." And then he leaves the meeting, and he goes to his casino, and he's like talking to all the guys that are making gin. And then the next scene is the night that it was like the way New Year's Eve is like 10, 9, 8, like they can't do the countdown. They did that in the show on Prohibition, and they popped the cork and all of the Prohibition, yay! And confetti came down, and everyone started drinking like illegally, like, yeah, it's my first illegal drink and shit. Like they were celebrating it, kind of. But Buscemi was laughing his way to the bank. The whole thing is about him playing both sides of the fence, like using women to get votes and keep himself in power. And then the Prohibition thing, he wanted it because it just made him richer and richer and more powerful. And this show is a perfect example. If you want to see how feminism really got started and how alcohol was used to make it happen, watch Boardwalk Empire. At least the first episode. Now, the rest of the show, there's a lot of fucking poetic license. Like, I don't know. Al Capone is a character, but he's like young. Like, this is happening in 1920. So, like he didn't do all his great shit yet. Lucky Luciano is also a character. Meyer Lansky, a character. Like, it's all people that Big Joe Colosimo, those are all actual people that lived and were gangsters, and they're characters in this show, but they take lots of poetic license with it. Like, they make like fucking Al Capone to be like a jokester and shit. And the actor who plays him is Mark Wahlberg's fucking little brother. Like, there's like Donnie Wahlberg from the New Kids on the Block. Then there's Mark Wahlberg, the middle child, I guess, who's the most famous. And then they have another brother who's like smaller, shorter, fatter, and can't act as well. And somehow he plays Al Capone. I hate when people from Boston try to have New York accents. And I hate when like Atlantic City is technically part of Philadelphia. That's like the Philly mob that runs that and shit like that. Everybody in South Jersey has the same accent as people in Philly. And then whenever Hollywood portrays some like Philadelphia in a movie, they never do it right. They always give everybody New York accents. Nobody has New York accents in Philly or Atlantic City. They don't say, "Yeah, you want to go over there for a beer? You want to go home and I'll give you a call on the phone?" That's somebody from New York. That's like a New York accent. A Philly accent's like, "Yeah, it smells like ass in here. You want me to call you on the phone? I'll call you on the phone and then we'll go home. We'll go home and then we'll watch an Eagles game. Yeah, well then, yeah, and we'll go home. Smells like ass in here." Like they tweak these vowels. The Philly accents and South Jersey accents sound nothing like New York accents, and Hollywood always gets that wrong. That pisses me off. So there's a lot of shit that I do critique on this video, but for the most part, like the set design, the costume, like the clothing they're wearing, everything's on point historically. But I don't know, they take a lot of poetic license with the historical characters. But other than that, if you seriously watch this, at least episode 1, at least the first 10 minutes of episode 1 if you can, because it's the perfect highlight of how feminism started. It nailed it. They hit it right on the money. When I went through my third DUI, I beat myself the fuck up. I went to rehab. I went to fucking, I just told myself I was a total drunk and I'm a loser and I need to get my act together and I need to get clean. And I went to all these AA meetings and my baby's mom fucking lorded it over me and her lawyer made me do all this shit and God knows what. I did so much shit. I had to go to classes. And when I was all done with it, right at the end of it, after I was 11 months, I was in AA and making friends there, and I started to realize these people are douchebags. I saw this video on, there's an HBO or a History Channel video that is all about this, and you can find footage of this. I'm telling you, it was like a bunch of senators from like Nebraska and like Missouri and like the Midwest, like all stuck together and did this. And like look, ladies, we'll get you the right to vote, but then we'll get rid of alcohol, but you gotta, and we're gonna give you the right to vote, but then you gotta vote for us. And then once you vote for us, we'll get rid of alcohol and blah 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 blah. And that's how it happened. And in the end, what? Okay, so women got the right to vote, right? Big fucking deal. And then on top of it, they got rid of alcohol, which brought the most dangerous time ever in the history of gangsters and like organized crime. In fact, the modern organized crime, you know what I mean, like was started by Lucky Luciano, one of the characters in this show. He's created the 5 families of New York, and it still exists to this day. That was started because of Prohibition. Prohibition was started because of feminism. Enjoy your day, boys. My name's Romance, the MGTOW warrior. Peace.